rank 5 best national teams in this window from the entire world. It means we might select Team USA, right? We should probably, because this is this great team nation of basketball. Canada,
they have
all those teams.
Michael Carter Williams in the team.
Alfred Payton.
Yeah.
Somebody else probably. A lot of.
Somebody else is.
Somebody else.
A lot of somebody else's
way to describe it. Yeah.
So who's gonna start?
Let's start from the number 1, and probably that was the easiest one.
Depends how you look at it. I think I have a different team.
Was a clear number 1 team,
and I have a different team.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spain. Because I do not trust Vincent Collet to be successful with whatever team he has, because I've seen it now twice, maybe even. I don't know. And also Spain, you cannot say that they don't have one of the deeper rosters of at least high-level experienced players.
I love Spain. They're in my top 3, but you cannot focus on coach's impact so much in a 2-week situation. I wouldn't call it a competition.
I agree with that.
And they're most balanced team. They have so much talent on their roster. They could potentially have Selene, Francisco, Cordonier, Luvavu Cabral, Yabusele, Lezort in their starting 5, and they have Poirier, Inglis, Rissacher as their backups. Guards like Hifi, interesting guys coming from Eurocup. So, I mean, they're stacked by FIBA window standards.
Oh, of course.
And nobody can match them with depth. And I would say that they have at least 5 guys who make the top 60 in the EuroLeague efficiency. Nobody can match that number. If you go with every other team, nobody except from Greece has only 1 player in top 60. Spain, they don't have anybody. Serbia,
they didn't have anybody to win the Eurobasket in 2022. And now they have Ricky Rubio.
I know what you're saying, but Rubio didn't play basketball for 10 months. And even in his last 2 years in the NBA, he played less than 34 games. All the other guys, finally, they're getting older. Or even guys like Juancho, all the other, like Victor Claver, Para, they're bench players in their teams. So, I mean, I don't want to disrespect Spanish national team and their players, but compared to at least France, I mean, France has to be number 1.
I agree. My decision was based a little bit more on the coaching side, not
the You
roster.
were probably too young to remember when Vincent Collet was actually winning things.
No, I remember.
And medals.
I remember. 2015, I remember very well.
Okay, nice.
When they beat Lithuania.
I don't know. I have to agree about France. But in general, this
is going to be a this rant about FIBA windows.
This window, it just makes me puke, man. Germany, they're world champions. Do you see actual world champions in the roster?
Nick Weiler-Bob.
They have 2 players, I think, but they're
Weiler-Bob and David Kramer.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about?
They don't make my top 5. They're number 7.
It is like EuroLeague made this possible for their players to go, but
a lot of them didn't.
Some of them did. And even if you look at the Lithuanian team, it could be much stronger and better.
With the guys who don't play in Lithuania, basically. If you got more EuroLeague guys.
You had Grigonis, you had Sedekerskis. You would love to have Giedraitis since he's playing great, but now he has an injury.
Is Rokas Giedraitis in the roster?
He is. He's the one EuroLeague player who is arriving from his foreign club. So France is definitely the strongest. I mean, they were number 1 in my eyes, even in previous windows when we didn't even have EuroLeague players, because they had players with EuroLeague potential like Damian Inglis or Francisco that we see in EuroLeague right now. Wemby actually joined the team last year. So I don't think there's even a debate. France is the best.
And then at second, do you have Spain, or do you have it at third and you have a different team at second?
That would be easier if it was a tier list, because I have teams like Serbia, Spain, and Greece, actually.
Oh, really?
And Argentina in my top 5, and they're so close to each other in my eyes. For me, there's basically no difference between them.
I'm going to go with Serbia as number 2 because they have, Spain obviously also has experience, but Serbia has
They basically don't have
They actually
Milutinov.
have the most players from the FIBA World Cup final, more than Germany, and legit players.
So no NBA players and no Milutinov. I think everyone else is there.
They have Vanya, they have
Guduric,
Alexa, they have
Dobric,
Davidovas,
Petrushev,
Dobric,
Mitrovic having a great season.
and
Avramovic.
adding, let's say, Luka Mitrovic, who is a very smart player, who could be on the real Serbian national team in case of some injuries. But if they have all the bigs available, they're stacked. But Mitrovic is a very smart player. I love watching him play. So this team is basically, they have size. They have a good defensive-minded point guard, Alexa Avramovic. They have players who pressure the ball. I mean, Dobric and Guduric, they can be your alternative ball handlers. It's a solid roster, I think. I think they have, if you compare defense and offense, I think they have better balance than Spain. Spain, to me, would be probably number 3.
Okay. Well, I had Serbia at 3 because I put Spain 1, and then France.
So you have France at 2?
Yeah.
I have France at first place, Serbia second, Spain number 3. But, with Spain, it's this thing. I mean, the only problem that I see with Serbia is that none of these players are actually playing some big, most important roles on their teams.
Serbia?
Yeah.
You got Guduric.
Guduric is not
But
the main guy on Shara's team right now.
He
can be for sure, but I mean, they're not in their best situation right now for this window, except from Mitrovic, who's playing great.
I think I just know these players so well that I don't focus as much on this season, the way they're performing. I know them very well.
You look just at the general picture, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense. They have 7 silver medalists from FIBA World Cup, and this is also important, looking at continuity and chemistry, so that helps. But with Spain, it's hard to judge them on paper, because you all know that when it comes to the national team basketball, they're different players. Rudy Fernandez is one of the best national team players, in the entire competition, no matter how many minutes he gets, how much he was injured during the season. They have Juancho Hernangomez, who is a different player playing for Sergio Scariolo. Ricky Rubio in the national team basketball, I mean, his brains, his vision, everything, I mean, he will recover quickly to be good.
I don't know about that.
Well, we'll see. We really don't know what shape he's in. We don't know what shape he's in.
So, I mean, Diaz, Brizuela, I mean, Scariolo will make them look good in the national team basketball. That's why it's hard to judge them.
Is there a Balde as well, I think? And
I had this, tough decision with Argentina, because they have Campas, I mean, one of the MVP contenders in the EuroLeague. Gabriel Deck, one of the best forwards in the entire EuroLeague. Leandro Bolmaro, another player having a great season. But they have no depth. I checked their preliminary list. It feels like they have 10 guards, Campazzo-sized guards, and except from Deck, Campazzo, and actually Bolmaro, who's also still a very young player, all those guys are under 23 national team. So I'm lacking of balance in that team to rank them higher, and I have Greece at 4.
Okay, I have other team at 4. That team is Team Italy. Even though you don't have them in your top 5, I think they have the core of that 2022 team. They don't have, obviously, Simone Fontecchio, but they can have they can be led by Nicolo Melli. I mean, he's not playing as he used to, but a lot of people are there from their former teams, and they've all played together. And I think in the national team competition, when you have so little time, I think this team could really click.
They're good, yeah, but do you rank them 4th?
Yeah, over
Greece.
Over Greece, I would. So Greece, I don't know. Yeah, guards like point guard and center, or even power forwards position. You don't like positions. I'm gonna stop doing that. But those guys are fine. And then in the wings, you got I don't know, either guys are past their prime, or I just didn't know the names of those guys. So they're probably not playing in the Euro Cup or EuroLeague.
But who's the best guard among those two teams?
You mean between Greece and Italy?
Yeah.
Let's see. The best one out of the two teams.
Yeah. It's Thomas Walkup, right?
Yeah.
Dinos Mitoglou is having a hell of a season. So I'll go with him over Melli. They have Papagiannis and Antetokounmpo to make their center lineup deeper when what Italy has. And I don't know, man.
Maybe you're right. I mean,
Papa Nikolaou, very solid veteran. Rokavopoulos, Larenzakis, Kalaitzakis.
So who's going to be the leader of this team? in terms of scoring and all those things. Or this
That's the issue that they had in the World Cup. I agree, but still, I think to me they're more solid than Italy.
And I also think it is important to have a guy you can rely on to
because you
make
bet on
points.
Mannion, right?
Sorry, what?
You're.
I mean, no. I think there's potential in Mannion. There's potential Nicola Melli. I mean, in Italian national team, you had games where Stefano Tonnet was balling and scoring so many points. So I just think they have a lot of these guys who played together before. They have a system and they've been successful before and proved us wrong. So.